जो डरते हैं वो मरते हैं और जो लड़ते हैं वो जीतते हैं। हम करेंगे, लड़ेंगे, जीतेंगे।
In 2019, it was a Tina factor, or there was no alternative to Narendra Modi. If you remember, many attempts which were being made, and often the lead taken by Mamata Banerjee to cobble up a front against Modi and the BJP actually collapsed. And that's because there were internal differences among the main political parties, there were egos and ambitions, and no one of them was actually willing to come together to put up a strong defense against Modi. This time round, it's interesting that Mamata Banerjee herself is taking yet another lead. Is she going to try and play the role of Sonia Gandhi of 2004, where Sonia had actually reached up to every political party in the opposition spectrum when she had decided that it was enough that the NDA was allowed a free rein? Well, certainly Mamata Banerjee has begun that work. At a press conference which she called, and this is over the controversy involving her chief secretary who she appointed as a chief advisor to the Bengal government, she reached out to all opposition party chief ministers saying, we all need to come together. What is different this time round? The main thing is that this time the Bengal elections can become the benchmark. It was certainly an election which threw up an interesting context. The BJP had come there in the backdrop of an excellent performance in the Lok Sabha from the state. They also put up a very aggressive fight. It was a clear fight of the BJP versus Mamata Banerjee and a no-holds-bar battle. But Mamata Banerjee came back to power once again, and this time with a larger majority. This has given her hope. It's also given hope to other opposition political parties that perhaps we can do it. Of course, there's a rider over here. At the end of the day, with elections still far away, will these constituent opposition political parties be able to forget their differences? Or will their own individual ambitions and ego actually bring them down? Or many of their own compulsions may forbid them from actually taking on the Modi or NDA factor. Well, the opposition has hope from the fact that they feel that the popularity ratings of the Modi government has gone down in the backdrop of the COVID management in a second wave. They feel that this anger and grief among the people can be capitalized, and therefore this can be used to build up another front. What is very clear that the lead is being clearly taken by Mamata Banerjee. Remember at the press conference she said, I am not scared. Those who are scared are defeated. Those who are strong and they fight, they win. And that's when she reached out to opposition political parties.
को political vendetta नहीं कहेगा तो क्या कहेगा? Justice तो अब नहीं दे सकेगा. Injustice के लिए आप ब्यूरोक्रेसी को खत्म करने चाहता है क्या? डराने चाहता है? हम डरते नहीं, हम मरने के लिए तैयार है. लेकिन हम डरते नहीं हैं. जो डरते हैं वो मरते हैं और जो लड़ते हैं वो जीतते हैं. हम करेंगे, लड़ेंगे, जीतेंगे. और जो कवर्डाइज है वो डरते हैं. हम डरते नहीं हैं. अभी सबको एक इकट्ठा होके उसको खिलाफ में आवाज उठाना चाहिए.
Now, who are the chief ministers she is reaching out to? Pinarayi Vijayan, who again broke that cyclical pattern in which Kerala usually never votes the same party back to power, but this time round they did. The LDF came back to power. So Pinarayi Vijayan is being seen as a giant killer. That's one. Second, Arvind Kejriwal, again coming back to power. Also, no qualms about taking on the Modi government as far as the COVID management goes. She's also reaching out to them. She of course reaches out to Stalin, where despite all efforts being made by the BJP to tie up with OPS, EPS, Rajnikant factor, Stalin was able to come back to power in Tamil Nadu finally as a first-time chief minister. These are the chief ministers that she is trying to reach out to. Most of these opposition political parties are also living in this hope that it's quite possible this time round to defeat Modi. As I said, there's election still a long way ahead. It's still early days yet, but certainly that attempt to cobble up a so-called federal front or a front which is going to take on Modi on issues like a threat to federalism, second issue on COVID management, and also how every rules in the constitution book and parliamentary democracy is being destroyed so that Modi continues to remain in power. Federalism is a strong, powerful factor which could bind many of these chief ministers. Unlike the last time round, she's not reaching out to individual political parties. She is reaching out to successful chief ministers, and thereby lies a tale and a future political strategy.
Thank you.